Call this meeting of the Redford Township Board of Trustees to order. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing as the Honorable Carla Sanders gives us our invocation this evening.
Almighty God, we acknowledge that you will hold us to an account for the way we legislate and administer the affairs of our township and its fine people. We pray for your guidance as we do so. We pray that you would find us protecting the rights of all at all times, that our community and this nation will fulfill all of your purposes. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Clerk Sanders, please take the roll.
Trustee Jackson. Here. Trustee Reeves.
Here.
Clerk Sanders. Here. Treasurer Kavanaugh. Here. Trustee King.
Here.
Trustee Taylor. Here. Supervisor McCray.
Here. Quorum is present. Next on the agenda is to approve the agenda.
To the chair.
Trustee Taylor.
Move to approve the agenda. Support.
Supported by Treasurer Kavanaugh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have a citizen comment. We're going to start with Thomas DeSazy. So everybody come up to the mic, please give your name and address for the record.
Kiss me.
The board, good evening. My name is Tom DeSazy. I'm a lieutenant with the police department here. I appreciate you guys taking a couple minutes to listen to me. I basically just wanted to touch base with you guys about a couple of community events we have coming up. I'm going to personally invite everyone, board and citizens alike. The first event we have is National Night Out. That's going to be August 8th from 12 to 3 p.m. We're switching it up a little bit this year. In the past it was at the community center. This year we're going to utilize the new recreation and wellness center here. It's a bigger venue. It's going to give everyone an opportunity to see the new building that was just built, which if no one's seen it, it's pretty incredible. So it's an opportunity for everyone to kind of check it out and just have a bigger venue. Weather permitting, we're going to try to do some indoor and outdoor events as well. We'll have food sponsored by Little Caesars, soft drinks sponsored by El Bethel Church. They're going to be bringing in a whole bunch of soft drinks for us, so we'll feed everyone and have plenty of soft drinks for everyone as well. We're going to kind of keep the layout the same as the previous years. I know some of you have attended in the past. Some of our biggest hits was our Western Wayne SWAT Team Bearcat, which will be there. The Redford Schools always put on a good presentation as well, along with the fire department. I believe last year too, the Wayne County Mounted Unit came out. They will be out again this year. If no one's got a chance to see them last year or at the fireworks, they're pretty incredible. Those horses are the biggest horses I've ever seen in my life. It's pretty cool to see. I know the kids like it, and the horses do super well around large groups of people, so that should be a fun one as well. The next event I wanted to invite everyone to was the Citizens Academy. This year that's going to start on September 17th and end on November 19th. So it'll be a full 10 weeks from 7 to 9 p.m. On Thursdays. Mr. Reese, I know your parents joined last year, so if you want to come out this year, you're more than welcome, along with everyone else too. Whoever hasn't gone to that, I know a few of you have. It's just a good opportunity to kind of get a brief layout of what we do, how we investigate crimes, how our officers interact with people on the road, and just the way they investigate and do their jobs. We'll have a whole bunch of, each day we'll have a different format to include. We'll have a day of OWI investigations with those beer goggles that I think some of you participated, which trust me is a lot harder than it sounds. It's nowhere near as easy as you would think. We'll have our traffic unit for a day doing that. We'll have crime scene investigations that include anatomy of homicide as well. That was a pretty big hit last year. It was pretty interesting. We'll have the SWAT team again do one of the presentations along with the mobile field force. We've done in the past as well. We haven't got quite the turnout that we wanted in the past with the ride-alongs, but at the very end of the program, we'll have an opportunity for everyone who attended to sign up for a 4-hour ride-along with an officer at the end. The intent of that is you'll spend 10 weeks kind of learn the layout of the police department and get a brief understanding of what we do, and then you can actually go out there, attend a ride-along, and see everything that we do put into practice. So like I said, that's gonna start on the 17th of September, and then we'll wrap up on, what was that, November 19th. You'll also get an opportunity for anyone who hasn't met our new K-9 Rex. We'll have a day of him being out there as well with his handler, Officer Sharp. So if anyone's interested, I brought some applications with me as well. If you're not sure or want to think about it, you can find the applications on the Bradford Township website as well. That's pretty much all I got. I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I want to say you did a great job, first time up.
Thank you. I
Great
appreciate it.
job.
Thank you.
Okay, next, it's Jennifer Kroll. Is that correct, Jennifer?
Ron Crawford.
Crawford, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So when you get up there, give your name and address again for the record, it'd be great.
My name is Jennifer Crawford. I am a resident at the Long Mobile Park Home. I'm comfortable with changes being made at the park because it's time for that change. Before anything happened, I've been a resident there since 2017. I have done and performed gender care services for my senior community for years. The trailers that are remaining, there are several seniors there that are outright afraid. They were afraid for a couple of years now because a drug lady came to our community. She was working at the car wash that was on Plymouth. She took center stage in the apartment building that was in the middle of our trailer park. I fought her off. She tagged my door with gasoline and burnt my home. I'm still there at the trailer park. I still stay with one of the seniors that I've been helping for years with. He's on 24-hour oxygen. None of these people were represented with lawyers going to court. A lot of them came there thinking this was their forever place to be. And they need more time to find suitable housing. I'm asking that more time bridges be given, especially if the people can show that they live there by showing the address on their IDs. There was a lot of squatters that came in to help lady. Most of them are gone, not all of them. And I'm speaking on behalf of those that have been there 30, 40, 20 years. I'll be happy to be the intermediate advocate just to give them a little bit more time to find and safe and suitable housing because they've been going through the drug thing for at least 2 years. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you. We'll move on to our special presentation on Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Commission update. Ms. Devin, I didn't forget.
You know, people have wanted me to be a single mom for the past 18 years that I've been married. Somehow, Hatter seems to continue to fall off.
Yeah.
For it.
So,
But thank you.
So it's wind in the breeze, knock the hat off, right?
Greetings to everyone here, especially the board presented today. It's a pleasure to present to you our update. I'm not sure who is supposed to help me next.
Momentary pause. Thank you, Rachel.
So, as mentioned, my name is Antoinette Davenport Hatter, affectionately known as AJ, and I'm the chair of the Bradford Township Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission. Rarely would you hear me use the acronym, because when you use the full title, it's, to me, how can you deny that? So, our commission consists of myself, Nyla Burks, Melissa Rios, Randy Bullock, who was one of our newest commissioners, and Trustee Jackson, who actually was the liaison when I was just a citizen observer right around COVID time. So it's nice to have you back. Two of our most recent outgoing commissioners, we're so sad to see them go. Honorable Judge Shasta Youngblood moved out of Redford. She was newly appointed by Governor Whitmer as a judge for the 36th District Court, so she was no longer a resident of Redford, and the lovely Senator Mary Kavanaugh. And so they are our two most recent outgoing commissioners. So we have three tenets that we guide our activities, which is education and promotion, and these are as indicated by the township ordinance. So we have education and promotion, community ambassadorship, and trustee feedback and engagement. And to help us meet those tenets, we have identified commission priorities. We were kind of in transition for quite some time. We had a lovely visit from Supervisor McRae. He's like, you know what? Identify, a few priorities and kind of stick with that. And that was while we were under the guidance of Trustee Taylor, who's just as amazing. Thank you for your guidance at the time. And so our priorities are civic engagement, accountability, and continuous improvement, and to increase commission visibility. And so what we've done is, through our governance portion of our meetings, was we noticed that our bylaws were not in alignment with the township ordinance. And so we kind of dedicated a couple of meetings, and we just went through the ordinance and made sure that everything was lining up so that we can move with integrity to our cause. And we are awaiting the approved copy. I believe that it's going through the process, and we're just waiting on final copy so that we can compare it to our bylaws and ensure that everything is in alignment. We did have one issue with the definition of equity that we did not change, but it was changed unbeknownst to us, and the definition of equity as it stands is not a true definition, so we are working to address that. We have enhanced our roster to include commissioner start and end dates, and we thought that was pretty notable because it helps us to accurately fill our seats. And so as a commissioner leaves, they may have been appointed for 2 years, and if they leave a year and a half, then we know that we have 6 months to fill rather than an entire new 2-year appointment. And so with our new secretary, we were able to enhance that roster so we could move accordingly. And then also, as I mentioned, we have our board liaison, Trustee Linda Jackson. And so, welcome back. So what have we accomplished? So we've had 9 meetings since our last report, and one of our most impressive accomplishment is our partnership with the Redford Township District Library. I was going to read some bookmarks. But you can feel free to go to the library yourself, and as you check out books, you will be provided with a bookmark. And there are, as you can see, these are the ones in the gray. And so it has our logo, and it has the logo of the township. And this is one of the ways that we are increasing visibility and education promotion and meeting our tenants and our commission priorities. And each each bookmark says something different. I believe there might be 6 different bookmarks, and so feel free to collect them all and have them with you as you read, put it on a refrigerator and just remind yourselves on what it's like to live in an inclusive community. And so we have, oh, here they are. So here are the different bookmarks. So learning includes unlearning. You don't have to change who you are to belong here. We heal by building systems that include everyone. Humanity is not conditional. Everyone deserves to be heard, safe, and respected. We thrive together or not at all. And we heal through shared compassion. And at the end of each bookmark, the language includes pause, reflect, grow, with corresponding logos. And so we were looking as a commission and in our collaboration with the library to have some nonpartisan language so that we can move toward a more harmonious living amongst our neighbors. So we're really happy about that. And we do have some other activities with the library coming up, which would be a distribution of a pamphlet for Black Breastfeeding Week. I know a few years ago, Supervisor McRae proclaimed August Black Breastfeeding Month because of the high rates of maternal and infant mortality for Black pregnant families and the perinatal community. And that's going to include text and a picture book to promote inclusion. There's also upcoming community read-along featuring DEI books and authors from Michigan or Redbird. And we're pleased to announce that one of the featured authors is our very own commissioner and neighbor, Randy Bullock, who is also going to be featured in Atlanta for upcoming book fair. And so she has a book that is entitled 116, and it addresses race and identity. So we're excited and hopeful that will go out. And then we will continue to explore other bookmark campaigns featuring diversity and inclusion-related posts or reflections or questions that focus, again, on nonpartisan language that will be distributed at checkout. And so we were really looking at some low-hanging fruit, something that doesn't require a heavy lift, because at the library, they have made some significant improvements and have been very busy, but they lost one of their librarians who was really instrumental in helping move our activities along. So right now we're just left with Kim Kelly, who's been amazing. So we're just hopeful that we're able to continue to move forward. We were able to create 7 steps to practice allyship ebook, because when we look at allyship, being an ally is an action word, and so there is some intentionality and some action behind that. And so with this ebook, we are addressing inclusive code of conduct. Everything that is in the steps are evidence-based. It also offers social media guidance and is ADA compliant. So we're really excited about that. And so how we go about moving our tenants and our commission priorities forward primarily has been through social media, and we're still kind of, working through some hiccups with that. At this time, we have 563 Facebook followers, so we have a pretty attentive group when we're looking at doing our education, promotion, uplifting. And so we have some analytics for you. And so of our 563 followers, the greatest percentage in the blue are age 35 to 44. Then we have right behind that ages 45 to 54. And then we have 55 to 64. And then the green is 65 and over, and then we have 25 and 34 at 6.8%, and the least percentage of our followers are youth at age 18 to 24. And this doesn't show it here. It was kind of hard to really break it out, but the majority of our followers identify as female. So a lot of our information are going to the more seasoned residents. And then for location, the majority, which is at 72.8%, lives in Redford. And then we have Livonia right behind that at 9.9%, 7.5% reside in Detroit, 1.8% at Southfield, 1.5% Dearborn Heights, and then other 6.5%. And so when I say that, we utilize social media to really move our priorities. Over the last 90 days, our top 3 posts have been, the largest has been, and these are in views. And so there's a difference between reach and views. Reach is unique, you know, for every one person that sees this, our post is counted as a reach. And then every time our post is viewed, sort of like coming to a door. If you walk through this door 10 times, you're going to be counted 10 times as a view. But if you walk through one time and then you go back, check your phone, get a sip of water, you're still going to be counted once. And so that's the difference between views and reach. And so our largest views at this time was the clerk's office blood drive that we promoted with Clerk Sanders at 133 views. But as of Friday, this was top at 227 views, I believe, and that was the post for the collaboration with the library. So, but this was already submitted. And then behind that is our post about civic engagement. What I love about civic engagement is because not only do we talk about the importance of voting and having your voice heard, but also engaging with your neighbors. You know, that's the whole civic piece and engagement is how are we engaging with our neighbors? How are we supporting each other, especially, you know, in times of crisis and times of happiness. And then we have at 91 views was our Juneteenth post last month. So what is upcoming for our commission? We are coordinating a meeting with the Redford Senior Club, and so we're very excited about that because we're looking to really make sure that we tap into all aspects of inclusion. And so meeting with the seniors is going to be great for that and how we can support them and uplift each other. We're exploring a partnership with the clerk's office for a voter registration drive. As the officer indicated earlier, what was your name?
Tom DeSazi.
Okay, it was, is it Detective Eddie's or the Office Eddie's?
Detective now.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we were, Detective Eddie's did reach out and asked us to participate. And so we have a sign-up list where we all will be rotating at that event, so we're excited about that. We will have presence at the Redford Township Democratic Club picnic. That will be discussed this Saturday. We will continue to recruit so we can have more commissioners because we believe in the African proverb, many hands make the light work. We are awaiting the outcome of the handbook and ordinance revisions, and so we, one of the the feedback and recommendations was we evaluated the Redford Township employee handbook, and we combed through with a fine-tooth comb. This is what we're under Trustee Taylor's guide, and we made some recommendations, and we're just looking for if those were adopted, and Trustee Jackson is working on that. So we're excited to perhaps have some updates by our next meeting. And we also have a public relations plan that is being devised by Randy Fuller. And so that is kind of where we are with our commission. We would love for you all to keep in touch. You can email, I man that email address, and I try to be pretty responsive. We have our Facebook page with our 563 followers. We hope to have more. And so you can follow us at Redford Township Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission. We also have an Instagram account that was actually created by our former chair, who's here in the audience, Sarah. And so we're just trying to work to connect that. We're not that savvy, but we're excited to be in a space where we can maximize our reach. And that concludes my update. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I think appreciate that, because
Yeah.
the hopes and the goals were really great when we first started, and starting to happen, right?
Thank you for your patience.
Okay.
And guidance.
Yeah, questions from the board? I hear none, so you must have did a great job. Thank you so much for what you do, and thank the commission as well.
Thank you.
Next is the consent agenda items. Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Supervisor McCray. I move to approve the consent agenda items as follows. The minutes of the study session held on June 23rd of 2026. The minutes of the study session held June 23rd of 2026. The minutes for the regular meeting held June 23rd of 2026. The minutes of the special meeting held July 7th of 2026. Warrant list of bills as of July 14th in the amount of $5,090,079.17. Reappointment of Chris Lysak to the Police and Fire Retirement System, term expiring March 31st of 2030. The resignation of Jennifer Lawson from the Planning Commission. The resignation of Heather Christie from the Planning Commission.
Support. Okay, been moved, supported. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move to new business. Director Mancini.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, Honorable Board. I come before you tonight to get approval for the acquisition of 11 residential commercial parcels through the Wayne County Treasurer's first right of refusal. These are developer acquisitions. The total cost of which is $146,792.97, which will be paid for by private developer funds, not township funds. I ask for approval of these acquisitions as well as ask you appoint myself, Michelle Mancini, Director of Community and Economic Development, to act as the authorized representative on behalf of Redford Township to complete the necessary paperwork in the event that the transactions are successful after the redemption period has expired.
Director Mancini, I think this is, we have some pretty good properties and some that really need the help, so it'll help the neighborhood. I just was wondering about, they have these two on Plymouth Road. They look like they're next door to each other. Is that correct?
Yes, they are strict.
You know what they're gonna do? When they have those commercial properties, it's a little different than private property. So do we have any requirements on them? Are they gonna make one big building? We don't know what they're gonna do with it. I mean,
Yeah, so
how do we work that with commercial?
Yeah, the commercial's a little bit less stringent as what we do with the residential aspect. They are able to actually rent their commercial. They are able to renovate and sell them. In these instances, there'll be a little more research. Obviously, if the current tenants, or the current occupants happen to be tenants, then they will probably work something out with them. If they're a situation where it's an owner that just failed to pay their taxes, that's always the first discussion. They talk to them first to see if they can, make something happen. And then if not, then they will, work with them to relocate, or they don't really have to make them relocate, but they usually do work with them.
Richard,
Okay.
I know you work closely with the developers. How is it that FJP had got 3 as HP Snap got 6?
So that,
And I'm not including the lots.
yep, yeah, so that's strictly their choice. We do a draft. The draft was conducted, and once we got through a certain number of properties, FPJ declined to purchase anymore. And HP Snap continued to, which they're allowed to. He was, actually FPJ had the first pick. We did a snake draft, so he had the first pick. HP Snap did the next 2, and then it was FPJ's turn for 2, back to HP Snap, and at that point, FPJ declined to purchase anymore. And HP Snap continued. The lots that were purchased, the residential lots, are next to houses that were purchased by developers.
I figured, okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Other questions from the board? Hearing none, what is the pleasure of the board?
To the chair.
Trustee Reeves.
I move approval of the purchase of 11 residential and commercial properties / parcels in the amount of $146,792.97 due by the SNAP developers to acquire the parcels listed and authorize Community and Economic Development Director Michelle Mancini to act as a representative on behalf of Redford Township to complete the necessary report.
Supported by Clerk Sanders. Motion is for the approval of purchase of 11 residential and commercial properties and parcels in the amount of $146,792.97 due by the SNAP developers to acquire parcels listed and authorize Community and Economic Development Director Michelle Mancini to act as a representative on behalf of Redford Township to complete the necessary paperwork. Are there any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Taylor?
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Trustee Reed?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson? Yes. Supervisor McCray?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Chief Mansfield.
Good evening, honorable board. I know I'm the only thing standing between you guys and more air conditioning, so I'm gonna see how we can move this along for you guys. What I am here for today is to do an approval of the first reading to amend ordinance number 299A, chapter 58, article 8, section 58-303, parental responsibility. It's a whole lot of words. First thing I would like to let you guys know is these changes are being recommended with the overall messaging and theory behind it being improving safety for our community's children. It's a big part of it, and that's what we're looking at. And I've also worked pretty closely with a variety of partners here in the township, as well as some citizens, getting their input, trying to get this put together into something that makes sense for you guys. So our parental responsibility, this has been around for many years. And what I am looking to update is a couple of small things. One of the first things I just want to point out before I actually read it, you'll see that I had changed that a minor means an unemancipated person under 17. I've changed that to 18 years old, and that is for the sole purpose of matching state law, because that is now what state considers. So the parts that I am looking to amend and that I have put in this ordinance that's been approved by legal already, that's one first and foremost, is I am looking to add some provisions for ORVs, otherwise known as off-road vehicles, ATVs, four-wheelers, three-wheelers, side-by-sides, mini bikes, dirt bikes. I know I'm saying all the words that you guys all hear all the time, and you're calling me all the time, and my guys. What I have done in this manner is I have essentially mirrored the state of Michigan's firearms safe storage law for ATVs. So what that means is this actually says to prevent the minor having access to or legally riding any off-road vehicle, ORV, that the parent or guardian stores or leaves the ORV unattended on the premises under the parent or guardian's control, and who knows or reasonably should know that a minor is or is likely to be present shall do one or more of the following. Secure the ORV in an area locked and inaccessible to the minor, or secure all keys to the ORV in a manner inaccessible to the minor. What does this mean? It means lock it up. Put the ORV in a garage, in a trailer, somewhere where kids can't get to it. It means take the keys. I don't care if you take them with you to work. I don't care if you lock them in a safe. But those need to be locked up in a manner that the kids can't get their hands on. And when I say this mirrors the Firearms Storage Safety Act, that literally says your guns either need to be stored in a locked box or a safe, and or it must be secured with a trigger lock. That's the route that we are going. Okay, so that's where that language is coming from. And I know you guys have packets up there that have a bunch of other information for you, including some of our stats. The next part that I want to point out to you is our vaping. Vaping is, and absolute epidemic in Redford Township. For those of you that are not familiar with some of the dangers to them, almost all of them contain nicotine. They may contain tobacco. Obviously, some of them contain THC or marijuana. This ordinance is not addressing those, as there's actually already a law in the books for that. But this is the ones that do nicotine, tobacco, or truthfully, any of the other dangerous chemicals that are in that aerosol that makes a vape what it is. It alters brain activity in young folk, anybody under the age of 25, the lung damage it causes, the popcorn lung, all of which is irreversible. And especially when we are looking at our youngest kids, some of them just think it's cool, and some of them believe the myth that this is better for you than smoking. Yet it contains many of the same chemicals, and we haven't had as long to study the results to know what the truest form of the long-standing results are. So, a couple of different things about adding this vaping act into the adult responsibility. You'll already see that the adult responsibility talks about keeping drugs out of the house and all that other good stuff. Adding vaping. I am well aware that as parents, you can't monitor your child 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we know that there's kids that are can be very creative. So sometimes you might not be aware of what this means. So what I did provide to you, and this is the part that I'm happy to go over, is this is a full process. Just amending this ordinance is not the sole thing that we're stopping at. First and foremost, we're already out and we're doing decoy buys on some of our party stores, gas stations around this township. We had a 33% success rate on our last one, which means 33% sold to our minors. And this is going to be an ongoing thing. Okay, so this is not just about that. Some of the things that we are going to do as a minor, if you are caught in possession of a vape, the first thing that's going to be happening is we are going to offer you a diversion. Instead of writing you that mandatory civil infraction, we're going to give you a way out of that first civil infraction. And we're going to let you go to a 4-hour seminar with GrowthWorks. GrowthWorks is our partner. It does much of our youth diversion programs across Wayne County. We're going to do that. But for the parent, we're going to give the parent a specific letter advising them that their minor, their child, has been caught with a vape. And we're going to advise them what this adult or parental responsibility ordinance is all about, so they can't tell us that they don't know. Obviously, if this child refuses to go to the GrowthWorks seminar, they fail to complete it, well, congratulations, here's your ticket. Right? It's an opportunity to avoid that ticket. The second time your kiddo is caught with a vape, now Michigan law says I can write you a second level civil infraction, which is more money, more fines, more community service, all of the good stuff. At that point, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to write you your first ticket, your first offense, unless of course you already got one. And then we're going to try and divert you into GrowthWorks' full 12-week life skills program. Because at this point, we've already established that this is becoming a problem, and we want to try and get some of this behavior taken care of as soon as we can before this develops into something more. Surprisingly enough, the parents are going to be given another letter personally, advising them that their child has gotten their second vape offense and reminding them of what this particular ordinance says. The third time the minor is caught with a vape, Michigan law allows that we can cite that child for a misdemeanor. Now, whether or not I cite them for a misdemeanor has to do with whether or not I give them that first and second civil infraction, but it's possible. And obviously for the fourth and additional time they're caught with it, it's a misdemeanor each and every time. When that child is eligible for that misdemeanor, that is the time in which this parental responsibility would take effect. So you're looking at a minimum of 3 times before the parent is actually given this misdemeanor. Okay, potentially a 4th time. Again, I don't expect that parents are miracle workers, but by the 3rd and the 4th time that your kid is caught, you need to be putting some you know, putting some rules in place, if you will. And obviously, these are not mandatory, these are discretionary, this is a tool. And some of the things that I want to point out, we've worked with the school districts, they're on board with this. In fact, they're thrilled that we're taking this to another level so that we can start holding kids accountable. What that process that I just gave to you, that's what we are going to do with the PE. This is not encompassing whatever the school might do if the child is caught with it on the school premises. I can't also dictate what the court will do, right? The court may choose to give them community service, they may not. Once they hit that misdemeanor level, that's much larger fines, and then it's a significantly more intense probation, which generally ends up through verbals anyway. It's just much more intense and in place. Anytime we're dealing with kids, we're trying to provide a variety of off-ramps for these kids not to go down that deeper hole and not to get into that realm. But at a certain point in time, we need the parents' help. And this is one of the ways that we're gonna do that, because I know if my kid was up to no good and I knew I was gonna get in trouble for it, I would be handling business. So with that in mind, the part of this that would impact our parental responsibility ordinance says, to prevent the minor from engaging in the repeated use of tobacco or vapor products, tobacco or THC, or keeping tobacco vapor products in his or her possession, whereas the minor is charged with a misdemeanor under MCL 742-6224, Section C. You guys have copies of that in your packets that I provided to you. So, there's a whole lot to that. So just a quick review of what I'm amending. I am taking off the delinquent acts do not include traffic violations, because in order to be able to do the ATV, we need to take that off. I provided the definition of an ORV so that we all have that. We did change the emancipation age of a minor from 17 to 18. We are asking for a change, or adding rather, to prevent the minor having access to or legally riding any off-road vehicle ORV that the parent guardian stores, or leaves the ORV unattended on the premises under the parent guardian's control, and who knows or reasonably should know that a minor is or likely to be present, shall do one or more of the following: secure the ORV in an area locked and inaccessible to the minor, secure all keys to the ORV in a manner inaccessible to the minor, and lastly, to prevent the minor from engaging in the repeated use of tobacco or vapor products, tobacco or THC, or keeping tobacco vapor products in his or her possession, whereas the minor is charged with a misdemeanor under MCL 742.6224, Section C. And legal has given the okey-dokey on this, that we are asking for your approval.
Well, Chief, I just want to say that I know this has been talked about, the Conference of Western Wayne, they're talking about this is the big topic that's going on, what's next, to try to control and help the kids not go down the wrong path or have something bad happen. I think it's great. And as far as the RTVs and all that, we already had lost one person already not too long ago on 6 miles. So you can't chase them with cars.
No, sir.
Because all that'll do is we'll either catch up with them. Most times they may run something through and get hurt anyway. So we have to reach out to the parents to help take care of that.
Yes.
And we're giving them some tools to help them take care of it. We want all of our kids to grow up and be okay. And if they want to ride those things, hopefully somebody's got a farm somewhere not too far away from here. They go there and have a heck of a good time and don't have to worry about running stop signs or oncoming traffic. So I think this is great. I appreciate the hard work that goes into it. This is a big step forward for our township to take control of what's going on. So, Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Oh, you heard me.
I did hear you. This one works sometimes.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Just a quick question, because I know that the challenges are for the police department to catch.
Yes.
That's a lot of what happens. My question to you, and there's two questions, but it also depends on the first question.
Okay.
So we have flock, right?
Yes.
Is there a way that flock can catch, let's say, a vehicle that doesn't have a license?
Can it catch it? You mean, would it?
Capture.
Could we search it? Yes.
Capture it.
We could within reason. Obviously, it's not as perfect as running a specific license plate.
Correct.
But in answer to your question, yes, I can run it, you know, like say if I was looking for a red four-wheeler, I could potentially put that in the flock, and I may get some hits on that, depending on where it's at.
So that's something that possibly you can use for, let's say, an ORV that you have running up and down Glendale, or if that's where the flock is actually at
Right.
that moment,
Correct.
that you can identify, let's say the bad actors going up and down.
Is that something I could utilize? I could utilize it to see if one had been moving. I can't utilize it to necessarily identify the driver that's on it, because that would be the important part, right? Even when I use Flock and I'm running it by license plate, I identify the car. I don't necessarily have the ability to identify the driver. So that's a big difference. Yes, I could use it, but I don't have Flock on any residential roads, which traditionally is where these kids eventually end up, or adults for that matter, but, you know, unless they're up and down running around. So yes would be the answer, but limited.
Because you would be able to do it on Glendale, since is that residential? Because we do have.
Glendale's not residential, but I do not have a flock camera on Glendale.
Okay, you should.
Well, yeah.
Just saying. Anyway, got that, boss?
Okay.
Yeah, we should have, not you, we should have.
It's scary, it truly is scary. You're driving
That's
one
not
way and
something I
it's-
have there, but yes, I understand where you're coming
Because
from.
adults have kids in front of them while they're coming down Glendale, and it's,
You know, and a couple of things I didn't mention because I was trying to keep this quick. I do have a letter that if, like, say, you know, a lot of times we get calls, like, hey, so-and-so's riding a three-wheeler, and by the time my officers get there, a lot of times they're not there, right? But sometimes people know, like, hey, they're in the third house on the second block and they're over blah, blah, blah. Well, the first thing I have now is I have a letter that I'm gonna be able to, like, send out to their resident. Congratulations, your house has been identified, somebody says your kid's here. Please be advised of this parental responsibility. And when we start knowing that, my officers kind of know what areas you go to when somebody says that there's a kid out on one of these mini bikes or a three-wheeler. So then instead of necessarily going right here, we can kind of cut off the difference. But we're making sure that people are educated about these changes and also the safety aspect. So that is on the list of things to do.
Trustee Jackson?
Chief Mansfield, are the programs that the children go to at Roseworks, are those free participants, or is there a cost?
No, those are free to the participants. My understanding is Roadworks is completely grant funded, and so that comes outside of that. So whenever we send somebody to diversion, like these seminars, these 12 weeks, they are in fact free to that family. Now, I will say, if it gets to the point where the kids are going in front of the court, so they'd be downtown at Lincoln Hall, Justice there, when they go down there and they're convicted of a misdemeanor, and they're given probation, and they still end up in front of Groveworks, at that point in time, the parent's gonna incur some probation fees. So a lot of times, it's in the parent's best interest to do it on the front end. And we've partnered with them. They actually spend time here in Redford Township, down over at the community center, which is great. And I put a lot of pressure on them that I want this seminar. And they put it together for us. And we're going to offer it obviously across Wayne County to all of their partnership agencies. But this is something that Redford Township tackled. We want these kids to know what's going on so that we can help prevent it from getting sick.
Any questions from the board? Trustee Taylor?
Chief, did you want to keep the THC language in this?
I have it in there just as a filler, so that it's there if we want to. There's actually a law on the books specifically separate for THC,
but yeah, THC can't be possessed by a minor, so as far as I'm concerned, it can sit there. They should be aware of that as well.
Other questions from the board? Well, this is very thorough. I think this is well needed, and hopefully we can get this done. So what is the pleasure of the board?
To the chair,
Trustee Jackson?
I move approval of the first reading to amend ordinance number 99-A, chapter 58, article 8, section 58-303, parental responsibility.
That's
Supported by trustee
that's
Taylor.
299.
Yeah, so it's 299.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, okay,
I can't read it.
that's a motion. Still going, okay, so the motion on the floor is approval of the first reading to amend ordinance 299-A, chapter 58, article 8, section 58-303, parental responsibility. Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Reed.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Trustee Jackson.
Yes.
Supervisor McCray.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, appreciate it.
But announcements from the board?
To the chair.
Or Chris, the center?
I just want to inform the residents that early voting does start for our township. It is going to start July 25th to August 2nd. Those hours will be from 8:30 to 4:30, and the early voting will be held here at Town Hall in the boardroom. Again, July 25th through August 2nd, 8:30 through 4:30. Your AD ballots are available for pickup until August 3rd at 4 p.m. Outside of that, you would have to attend, or you would have to come to one of the precincts on Election Day, which leads me to Election Day, which is going to be August 4th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that's all I have.
Anything else from anybody else? Yeah, I just want to address real quick that, you know, there's been a lot of social media and we've been getting a lot of bad reports on social media about a home that we have here in Redford Township that has a lot of cats in it. And when I say a lot, you know, I'm talking probably close to 50 cats so far. And we were called into that, we got involved in that. The county said that it's the air in there because of the ammonia and everything from all the feces and everything else that's going on in there. They tagged it as an imminent danger order. It means that don't go in there. If you're around the house, it's okay, but don't go in the house. So we went through a whole series of getting the right equipment and getting the people over there so we can go into the house to make sure that there's just cats in there, and so far that's all we found is just cats, and to rescue as many as we can. But we believe the house has been in this condition for quite some time, and the cats are, you know, feral. So they're hard to catch, because as soon as they see somebody, they run and hide. They've, you know, made their own little hiding spots. So after an attempt to catch them, we decided to send traps out to capture them, and that way that our ACO goes in twice a day now to pick up any cats that are in there and continue to collect. With the Internet Warriors, all I can tell you is that our chief has put out several press releases to explain exactly where we're at as we go along. And we should be reading that. We don't want to put anybody at risk. And we are compassionate about the cats, but we're, you know, human life is first. And we want to make sure that everybody's safe. So we'll continue to do that. We keep catching more. I don't know where they're all at, but they're starting to come out of their hiding spots to get some water and some food. So we'll continue the effort until, you know, we get to where we don't find any more cats or they're not coming out anymore. So I want to congratulate everybody that was a part of that effort and continue to be a part of the effort, because our ACO is going in twice a day, and anytime you go in, you got to put all that stuff on, even if it's like a day like today, 90-some degrees. You put that stuff on, you take your self-clothes, and it's a big effort. So I've said enough right now about it. I'm unhappy about the social media and some people that don't even know what our community is, don't even live here, and they want to tell us what we're doing wrong. So we are doing everything by the law, we are being safe, and we're keeping everybody else safe. So thank you for listening to what I have to say. You know, keep an eye out. We'll make sure you get any more updates that come from the chief, because that's accurate and current information. So let's get out of here before the sun goes down, I hope, or maybe it'll cool off a little bit. I had my say. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for listening to us all. And be safe out there because it's hot. Stay where it's cool. Don't go out unless you have to. No further business to come before the board. This meeting is adjourned.